Hey guys, so this is my still. Anywho, I'm out in the trees enlightening myself, and it was, I guess the heavy on my mind has been that, the experience that I have been through. Katia D. Crosby on the record, Special Agent Tia Perkins for the other record, Quantico. Man, for me, I have been churning the butter that I already know is there, but I have gone so far back in technology and high-tech project management, and I was working on such weighted projects at the level that I worked, and I'm not saying solo, this is to address my team, as well. A good number, and I mean a good number of people are on my timeline that I've worked with over the years. And, for those in the D9, we were represented, okay? We were all working together. So our word is our bond and truth is truth. But, one of the heartfelt things that comes up is that one of the people that is definitively on my timeline, and this is the serious part, but, it's emotional for me because it's remembering that day. And the day in question is 9/11. September 11th, 2001. And everybody has their opportunity to say where were they and what was going on that day when, the towers were struck. I was working from home. And part of the responsibility we had in our industry was high telecom, meaning providing you the backbone of cell phone service, landline service, internet service, connectivity. That was our role. In addition to providing software applications and designing, developing, and providing those things. So our team and my name is on the records, in the books, for patents that exist in the patent office. I am named as part of the team. And I was sitting there at the forefront before 9/11. My first big project at the company was senior project manager of the Y2K initiative. And while everybody got to party like rock stars on Y2K and we rocked out the Prince's 1999, we were in the office in technology. And we had worked very diligently to make sure nothing happened. Some things happened, but inconsequential for you guys to care about because it was nothing of significance that affected the consumer. And that is twofold. So people can say, it was a non-event. Well, you weren't working on it. But the testimony that we did pull that off as a technology community without a glitch, without it making news, that's all I have to say to you guys now is look at how we were trained then. So back to the fact that my job was to look at the news. Our entire infrastructure was built off of what was happening outside in the world. And any big event, no matter where it was, we had telecommunications partners throughout the world. And if you think about it, even if a local area went down, as we've had to experience with Verizon and 911 in Baltimore twice now, I'm calling y'all out. Even if you think about it, local affects international, okay? Doesn't matter who you are. You have a call to make to Africa for whatever reason, project, connectivity, or you are sincerely an individual that has to work on a team that has to connect outside of the United States, and your local area has gone down without any coverage. And I mean anything. You can't access laptop, you can't access internet, you can't access landline phone, you can't access, your cell towers in just a local area. That's a catastrophic example, but you can't. One individual could be important in that area that has to connect into the bigger picture. With that said, that's why our attention is to the news, because any event throughout the world will impact the telecommunications that we have to work on. And we work on telecommunications and software applications from the private sector that provides public access like Facebook, all the way to the super secret of the super secret and all across the globe. So once you are connected into that network, and once your job becomes that in our arena as it was in 1999 and 2000 and 2001. We had our eyes on that TV all the time. And so the difficult part for me is to recollect the day it happened. And I was working from home. And because I am who I am, type A overachiever, I was really working from home. So, I dropped off my daughter at school. I was back and ready to do office stuff. And next thing you know, I am looking at the towers live. And before the second tower was hit, watching it live, my phone rang from a work employee that is on my timeline. And everybody who worked with us knows who that person is that called me. We don't need to go into that. But he said, Katia, did you see it? And I said, I did. And before I even finished the sentence of, I'm going to, my conference bridge is going to be up, before the sentence came out my mouth, we're both looking at the second tower get hit live. So, when we've been trained the way we've been trained up to that point, and it's now the real deal Holyfield, and we now see it, because now that means lives are... The thought that your job now relies on real lives can't be unseen. You cannot forget that. That's your priority now, because you just saw it. So within the hour, within the minutes, I set up my conference bridge for our entire team, because they were used to me doing that. And all of our senior staff for our team. And I called my ex-husband, because we were dating then, and told him, and he was 28 feet below the ground on Sprint Nextel. And he came up and said he could see all the planes landing and circling around to land. And he had seen nothing like it in his life. And all I could say to him is, you get to little Kayla and her mom, you get here, I gotta go there, I'm on a job. So I go get my daughter, and of course I'm the first parent there to check her out, and they're looking at me like, well, yes, and there's no need to panic. They already knew my job. Why? Because they have the emergency contacts. They know where I am. They know how I talk. They know, what's going on. So, and they have to deal with all the background checks that come to and through for me. So my credentials were already cleared. So now you got to imagine the staff that's watching me take my daughter up out of there. Okay? And somewhere in there, I get home, and within the hour, we're on the bridge, and I'm introducing our leadership to give us next steps and direction. And let's just say we made it through that day, of course, and we made it through the subsequent days to follow. The hard here for me is what happened next. The person in my life that called me, his life was literally destroyed. He was accused of a crime he didn't commit, and we all knew it. But he was taken away from us. Now, if you want to follow the crumbs, follow that one call that led to me. And everybody has seen on my timeline what's happened. So I say this now because we have a lull in the media between the various different events, and the timelines are very, very quiet. And I'm not trying to start them up, but I am. When we talk about prayer, you need to be able to understand where we're getting ready to go with this next. You need a binding book. A good old-fashioned marble notebook that's a composition marble notebook that's bound. Because that's how we had to do it old school for making declarations for the patent office. And you need to start taking notes. Because everybody's going to have their own view of this timeline of life. But if we are going to figure out where we have to work collectively, we all have to be in our right minds. Okay? And we can't argue over the fact that it's racist. All of it is. We can't argue over the fact that the media is manipulative. All of it is. Now let's agree on all of those things, and let's get busy on solutions. Jot down your ideas. You are educated people that are now outside, and all of this affects your careers, your children, the ones you teach, the ones we mentor, the ones we see. So if we're going to be practical about this, we got to do something. Love you guys.